At number 14, down 7 notches from number 7 the previous week. This was a hot record on my fantasy playlist, XM's radio. They were all over this. Sounds like when I'm doing my fantasy playlist countdown of July 22nd, 2012, I'm actually paying homage to XM Radio. Man, what are you doing? Are you actually talking about these songs, or are you advertising for XM Radio? Well, I can't help it, because none of the FM stations will play any of these good songs, and the only place that's playing them was XM Radio. XM Hits 1 and XM's 20 on 20. Song that I'm talking about in particular is I Like It by Foxy Shazam. Foxy Shazam, bringing back that old school rock and roll. We need more of this. Hard, yet melodic, pleasing to the ear, but just got enough hard guitar riffs to say, yes, we got some testosterone going here. What's happened to rock and roll? Tell me about what's happened. Well, this is it. This is probably the hardest record on my fantasy playlist. Probably the only rock and roll on my fantasy playlist. Week of July 22nd, 2012. Foxy Shazam, they're from Cincinnati. They formed back in 2004. They released their first album called Flamingo Trigger. That was off an independent label. They signed with an independent label. No, I take that back. Let me back up for a minute. Their first album they released independently. Then they signed with an independent label called Parrot Music, and they put out an album called Introducing, and later on they signed with IRS or Sire Records, and they put out their fourth album called Church of Rock and Roll, and this is where I Like It came from. I gotta tell you, Foxy Shazam, we are talking two layers of rock and roll. We're not talking about grunge. They're not grunge. We're going back before grunge. Even maybe going back even to the late 60s with Cream. But this is 70s and 80s rock and roll glorified. We are talking everything from Alice Cooper, the Queen, all the way to Bon Jovi, Poison, Cinderella, all those elements, those hair metal bands back in the 80s. Before grunge came in and just said, alright, you guys get out of here, we're taking over. And Foxy Shazam bringing back those hair metal, bringing back that classic rock and roll back in the late 60s and 70s. Yes. And guess who produced it? Oh, one other thing. They toured with and opened for the group Darkness. And they also toured with Slash. They opened on some dates when he was on a North American tour. Oh gosh, about a year or two ago, Slash of Guns N' Roses. That's some rock and roll right there, baby. Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. Oh yeah, man, that's some rock and roll, baby. Anyway, Foxy Shazam, I Like It. Guess who produced this song? Oh God, I just found this out. I'm not surprised. Justin Hawkins. Justin Hawkins, the lead singer of Darkness. They had that huge hit in England back in late 2004, early 2005, paying homage to the rock and roll of the 70s and 80s. I Believe in a Thing Called Love, one of the best rock and roll records that came out in the 2000s. Well, he produced this album, the lead singer of Darkness. He produced this album, Church of Rock and Roll, and the song I Like It, which I'm going to play for you right now. Rock on! Foxy Shazam, I can't, maybe I'll say Shazam, like Gomer Pyle. Foxy Shazam! Here it is, I Like It, at number 14 on my fantasy playlist.